Cool. We are recording. Do you have your sheet up, Parth?
Yes.
Oh, are you ready to go, or do you need a minute?
Nope, I'm ready to go.
All right. Okay. It's game time, baby. Everybody wants something. As tried and true a statement as there could ever be for the haves and have-nots, those with and without. Desire is as fundamental an emotion as they come, whether for critical baseline needs or all that glitters just out of reach. And you, Mix Cawthorne, are no stranger to that common thread in this dichotomy. It is want that shifts money between waiting hands, brings a body step by step to the facade of an office or the counter of a public kitchen, drives the world to turn ever forward. Everyone wants something. And in the early afternoon, seated on an office couch on the fourth floor of the Lansing Social Services Building, everyone is one Melanie Baker, this sullen, late teen individual who is very grouchy. She's seated in what seems to be a coat and a half, a rugged beanie covered in a few odd pins here and there, the Ujat eye set dead in the middle with something looking like a skull from a band of some sort. The text is way too warped to read. She shuffles kind of awkwardly, but it's clear she doesn't want to really be here. Do I have to call you Mix Cawthorne every time? Can't I just, I don't know, have a shorthand or something? First name?
You can just call me Cawthorne.
That works for me. That kind of eases the posture a little bit. This isn't your first appointment with this client in particular. Far from it. This is closer to the second or the third, though the first doesn't really count, if we're being completely honest. Contradictory to her appearance being pretty healthy, all things considered, she's actually in here seeking aid to find work, which thus far has not been very successful, and while she seems to have other ventures that she doesn't really elaborate on, no resume has really been enough to net even like a simple service job. Uh, do you want me to run off like last time? Do you want me to, I don't know, print out my papers?
Printing resumes is kind of a thing of the past at this point. Most companies just take them digitally and feed them through some sort of AI process.
She
The big
fucking
thing is knowing how to game that process.
she has
And
no idea and
it,
is like gritting her teeth at this.
it sort of lowers its tone into a semi-conspiratorial voice as it is starts talking about like, so there's certain keywords that every resume program sort of looks to filter out. They won't say they do it, but they do, because it would be, improper to actually do it. But I've been taking a look at your resume, and there are a few times where I think just changing a word might get you better luck.
Like,
And Cawthorne will pull out a printed copy of her resume that's got like yellow highlighter streaked in several places where certain word changes need to be made.
as Mel reaches out and takes it with the like overhang sleeve of the rugged coat that she's wearing, it smells dead of cigarettes. Why don't you take this opportunity to describe Mix Cawthorne and its appearance?
Sure. Cawthorne is she has sorry, it has light brown skin, in a nice, pretty well kept suit. It clearly pays some manner of attention to its appearance. Whether or not that's because it works social services, that's not really know. Um, and hanging around its neck on a purple lanyard, uh, just underneath its ascot, is this is their name badge. Its name badge,
Fair
which
enough.
has a very what's the term I'm looking for? Very non-emotive photo on
Dis-
it.
disgruntled, even?
Not exactly disgruntled, just like completely emotion.
The corporate
A
photo.
bit, yeah, very strange compared to what is clearly the vibrant uh, person in front of her.
Absolutely. And in stark contrast as well, I do have some art of not Blair, sorry, Mel pre-prepared.
Nice.
Uh, she sniffs, scratches at her nose, kind of awkwardly hands it back over in a, like, hands up in the air kind of gesture, though she doesn't really raise her arms or do anything of the sort. Slumps back into the couch. Like, okay, I get people not using paper resumes anymore. The, like, town that I grew up in was still on that. I get that they wouldn't
Small
use it.
town.
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Um, but, like, I just, isn't there someone that I can just talk to? I can't just walk into a store and get a job? Because, like, I don't own a laptop. The fucking, like, okay, I bit of a guilty look this time. I tried to go over to the library earlier, but there was hardly anybody there, and I couldn't log into the fucking computer. And I know I waited to the last minute to do it, but I'd spent all of last week walking around with these stupid resumes. Like, there's no
Yeah.
arm that you could twist.
Uh, Not particularly. This is why I asked if you grew up in a small town, because small towns, you can typically, talk to people and everybody knows each other's face. But here in Lansing, it's not exactly a big city, but it's not on the scale of everybody knowing everybody's face. So that's why they typically use the automated garbage.
With the
Um,
stupid AI thing.
yeah. Sometimes there's sort of a program where we can get ins to certain businesses. Uh, Mostly, I given by your resume, I just worry it may not be somewhere you'd be happy.
Define happy. She does not look very plus to hear this.
Uh, so it's the the main places that sort of come to us with ins for jobs tend to be places that churn through their employees.
Oh,
They're
okay.
constantly hiring, and that's never a good sign,
I
because either they're hiring temp workers and running them till they burn, or the environment is actively hostile and people who get there aim to leave as quick as possible.
look. I'm gonna be real. A job's a job. My other one doesn't pay. I need something substantial, and I can't keep couch hopping.
I could put in a word for you, but I do I can't help but worry, given the way these companies sort of act. Are you sure that's what you want?
I just want to leave. And I don't have money to do that. So here I am, and this time she does raise her hands up in the air to kind of like go, well, there you go. Look,
So it's more about leaving Lansing than it is just getting any job.
building money, I guess, to do that. Like, I shouldn't have to be doing it, but I am.
All right. And Cawthorne will lean in a little bit, and its voice will drop quite a 15 decibels. It's just whispering in like a very hushed tone now. As it leans in closer to make sure it's still heard, but not by anyone else in the office, who may be, you know, recording equipment or other.
Right, of course.
And it'll say, okay, so what you need to do is if you're going to work at a place like this, there are certain ways you can game it. You want to make it as difficult as possible for them to onboard you, while also making sure you don't do enough to get fired. You need to exploit any circumstance you can to draw out that in-dock date, because they still have to pay you while they train you. So if you make that take as long as possible, you technically don't need to do any work because the training is extremely simple. If you're really lucky, they'll have company-assigned computers, and they usually don't care enough to actually try to get those. So, you can get money and a computer, and then whenever you're comfortable with the money you build up, you can just bail. It won't look good on a resume, but you don't have to put it on your resume.
Okay.
And it'll sort of look up for understanding.
There is understanding there. It's more of the brow furrowed, sharp-eyed kind of understanding. The look of... It's kind of hard to put. The teenager should not be looking at you with eyes this sharp, but she is. And one way or another, there's a plan, or at least a start of something behind those eyes. And
seeing that, Cawthorne leans back, returns to its original sort of like tenor and volume, and it's like, anyway, I'm so sorry I can't help you. You'll just have to keep looking and using the library for job application. And it smiles, puts its hands together, and looks at her.
There's a little bit of a smile, even in the past few visits where things have been slightly more positive. She's never really smiled, but Melanie this time does have a slight bit of one. I think... Fine. Sure. I'll go to the library after this.
Okay. If you need any more help, I'll be here. Actually, and it grabs its card and scribbles its number on the back of it. And hands it over.
That reminds me, and as she's standing up, she kind of like pats down her fucking coat's pockets. There's a few of them on the inside that seem self-sewn in. From one of them, she produces a normal phone, just a burner that you could get at Walmart or, I don't know, like Boost. And from a different pocket, she produces a similar cheapo model that has been pulverized in some fashion. I need to give you my new number.
Gosh, I won't ask, but okay.
She passes it over.
And it pull. Yeah. Wait, passes what over?
The phone. The number is displayed there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cawthorne will write it down. on another like little notepad.
Fair enough. For your silly little case database shit to update whenever this is all over.
Yeah.
Do I need to do anything else this week to prove or whatever that I'm working or trying to get work? I like unemployment doesn't want to touch my anything, so
Yeah. Uh, in response to that, Cawthorne sort of smiles and says, "Well, you need to make sure you submit your 2 job search activities to qualify for unemployment." While it's saying this, it's slowly shaking its head now.
just a slight finger gun point. All right, then I guess I'll go to the library. This was a lot shorter than last time.
Well, you did the majority of the work at this point.
I guess so. I guess I did. Cool. I will see. Wait, I'll figure out scheduling or whatever. I've got some stuff coming up that I gotta deal with.
No worries. Take it easy.
Yep, she waves, similarly like nonplussed, and proceeds to exit the office with the close of a door, giving you a moment to kind of take stock for a moment, maybe update the case file, and atop that, if you would like, describe how Cawthorne has taken her office, its office into its own hands. What kind of decorations you
Well,
got in here?
yeah. Um, First, Cawthorne like decompresses. That's the first thing. As soon as the door closes, Cawthorne breathes out, and everything sort of slacks a bit. You know, it's very much it's a different person who handles this kind of stuff. It's not exactly a performance because Cawthorne does care, but you have to keep the job. You have to care in the right way. You have to look like you're caring in the right way at least.
Absolutely.
Cawthorne hits the power button on its monitor to turn it back on, and the glow of the monitor is accompanied by these sort of dim amber string lights it has, because it doesn't really care for the cold office lighting that most government buildings have, and likes to make it feel a little warmer for its clientele.
Absolutely.
On the like foam board walls, there's various like little doodles pinned up, uh, whether it's of animals or big scenic vistas or fantastical creatures. It's meant to make the area seem less sterile.
Yeah.
Either way.
It's a small way to combat the utterly fucking mundane office space that you're in.
Yes. It is forming a barrier against just the the just crushing banality of this office. Anyway, it gets prompted for its password and types in a 36 character password. And
the keys
just
clatter.
quickly updates. Yeah. And quickly updates Melanie, right?
Yes, though at this point you've learned that she detests the full name and mostly just goes by Mel. However,
Okay. Yeah.
as Cawthorne is getting the case file brought up, or rather the database management program that can like access individual case files, Mel's is nowhere to be found, and while this is troubling on its own, this is also not the first time that this has happened.
damn system must be acting up again. Let me just restart the application. And it'll close it out, force quit it, and pull it back up, punch Mel's name back into the system, and does it come up again, or is it still missing?
It is still missing, unfortunately. This seems like it might be more the domain of IT and the server proper for where this data is kept. Or, barring either of those, as IT has enough on their plate, it might be your manager.
It will pull its ID card, which locks the system automatically. Get up and sort of just call out, Bill, are you in today?
There's a slight grunt from the one of the adjoining cubicle sets outside the door as someone either jolts awake or out of from a YouTube video or something. Yeah, what? Cawthorne, is that you?
Yeah. How's it going,
Okay.
Bill?
Hi. Fine. Yeah, not really a lot going on. Don't know what to tell you.
No, not really. I was wondering if you could help me with a small issue I'm having.
Yeah. And he there's a chair shuffling aside and scraping against the carpeted floor as he gets up. The office space itself, despite being very well lit by natural lighting with these wide windows that have been tinted with billowing sort of curtains, lots of beige and slight accents of color, this is still a very cold, quote unquote, space. Bill, this elderly guy, kind of in his 40s, 50s, he moves older than he appears, is the gist of saying this. Circles around, comes to Cawthorne's office, and stands beside its computer to peer at the screen before remembering that he owns glasses, and puts them on. What am I looking at here?
I was going to come to you.
Oh, okay, well...
It flips its badge. No, don't leave. You already came here. It slaps its badge into the slot again, logs back in, punching in 36 characters inhumanly fast, and pulls up the sort of database application they have, and it's like, I'm looking for one of my clients, but they're not showing up in the system. It's happened before. Do you know what's going on? Is there an outage or something, or?
Wait, can I see your mouse?
Sure.
Thank you.
And it slides backwards.
He leans in, kind of just starts awkwardly moving the keyboard. This is he moves with not very much grace in using a keyboard or mouse, and kind of reminds you of... I don't really know how to... You know how people would kind of gingerly use mice and keyboards when this was the early 2000s? And shit,
Yeah.
That kind of claw grip, but it was so delicate and slow.
Yeah.
That is how Bill...
Basically fingers pointing down at the keys.
Yes.
Plugging each one individually rather than in the typing.
Yeah, a gamer's posture he does not have. That being said, Bill navigates around and kind of peruses different directories and paths and tries to get a bead on the situation. At a couple of points, takes a look at the name that is written down or whatever paper Cawthorne has that would give better indication of identity for Mel. But despite even his help and for what feels 15 minutes being closer to 5 or 10, he's not able to find anything either. I don't know what to tell you there. I'm sorry. I was talking to Tom the other day, and he was saying that some of his clients kind of disappeared on him, too. Maybe Sasha knows something about it.
All right. Sounds like I have a trip to IT ahead of me.
Yeah. If you want, I can keep an eye and see if the old... I can't say that, can I? He's trying to find a nice way to say total bitch.
Cawthorne is smiling so politely.
Anyway, I'll let you know if I see Rebecca. She might also know something. That kind of a slow day.
No problem. If any clients come for me, you have my cell. Just give me a call.
Yep. You know where to find me. And he
Uh, nope, go ahead.
he more or less says, "You know where to find me," and trudges off back to his computer. Uh, on his desktop, YouTube is pulled up, and there are a number of woodworking videos that have been queued up. Not even how to whittle or carve in patterns. It's just guys making basic furniture or railings for staircases and shit. Like very basic functional woodwork.
Oh, buddy, I've been there.
And that leaves you to the interior of the social services complex.
Yeah. Cawthorne's going to just jump its desk rather than walk all the way around to the door. Just going to jump out the front.
It is very spry, and spry enough that Bill does not notice as he slips the old headphones back over his ears, the kind with the strap that rests on you but has the metal brackets on the side. These have been reused for untold decades in this building.
It probably cost $500 a pair, so that tracks.
Oh god, yeah, or $5 if you go to the college surplus store.
Yeah.
Questionable functionality. There's a few different kinds of office spaces here. We have offices like Cawthorne's, which are more like proper offices in the building for individual client-to-client meetings. These offer a modicum of privacy, though have pretty large windows at the doors themselves. So if, say, one of the managers or fellow coworkers comes with updated paperwork or needs to ask a question to get chewed out, etc., this is your situation. Outside this are rows of cubicles, which are more meant to handle the influx of daily calls or simple account-to-account issues. And from that point forward, it devolves into different little pockets of office space. You have storage rooms on the side that you pass on the way to IT, containing all of the print supplies, all of the ink, blackened ash formed from the constant use of laserjet printers. You can smell it.
Oh.
The carcinogens are present and potent.
The smell of ink and burning plastic.
My kind of office. That being said, though, IT is a different story entirely, as it is kind of a cluttered mess in comparison to the rest of the, in all honesty, comfortable, albeit cold, space. Sasha is the IT staff. Give me just a moment. I have character descriptions on the side.
Oh, I love character descriptions.
I'm going to paint you the picture of an IT girl. Dyed hair in vibrant green. Brilliant amber eyes. Way, way, way too perky. You can't tell if this is insanely good coffee. There's a number of locations in downtown that would suffice. Or some combination of Adderall, coffee thereof, or really just that kind of girl who is endlessly peppy. Right now, she is elbow deep in a computer tower case, and only jolts up as she hears Cawthorne step through the door frame with a screwdriver, like one of the micro screwdrivers, between her teeth. Oh, hey! Oh, hi. What's going on?
Hey, Sasha.
Hey! How's it going?
How's your day treating you? Nope, I asked first.
But I asked, okay, fine, you win this one. But, however, it's a long story. Somebody spilled coffee, not just on the tower, but in it. I don't know how they tipped it to the little fan exhaust, but they did. And I have to gut it to see what the damage is. It started.
The people in the office make miracles happen every day.
They really do, and I have to be the miracle worker.
I
Uh,
think I might have the easier job.
mm, I don't know about easier. I don't mind doing it. It's just it never feels like I have enough time. Uh,
Uh, yeah, I feel that.
what's up? Did you want to go out?
Oh, um, uh, I computer problem.
Define problem.
Cawthorne is staggering over the words because Sasha said go out, and Cawthorne's mind just completely derailed. Uh,
She doesn't seem to be that on the ball and waits expectantly for your answer.
um, so the database program, it's not showing my client in it anymore.
Oh god, not another one. You wouldn't be the first
I
one
talked to
today.
Bill up at, oh, okay, cool. So it's a known issue.
Okay, can you close the door a little bit, just a little?
Sure. And Cawthorne will just gently creak the door closed, not entirely shut, leaving that minuscule crack so that the door doesn't latch shut, but it's, closed.
Maybe close it all the way.
Okay, if you're sure. And Cawthorne will gently kick it shut and latch it, or, bump it till it latches.
Okay. So I've already had to help Tom out, and like I say today as an issue, that's just when I found out about it. This has just kind of been a reoccurring issue, and like with one hand, like perching the screwdriver between a couple of fingers, she does a quote unquote. Uh, so I'm not supposed to say like specifics or anything like that. Like that's not my job. It's not really my place. That's tipping my hand just a little too much. But from what I understand, Rebecca's like higher ups asked her to kind of maybe be a little bit more firm in our process. Um, she just puts the screwdriver down, leans on an arm. It's just a couple problem clients, according to them, that we have to push somewhere else.
So was my client pushed out of the system? Cawthorne sounds like there is a distinct worry that has entered Cawthorne's voice.
In effect, yes. I don't know too much. I only just like I facilitated it. You get it. Not happy about it, but that's the gist of it. Yes. You could make a case for your client. Like, who knows? She might listen to you. Maybe.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, Sasha.
I look. Someone's got to have it here. Look.
uh, Cawthorne's smile is definitely a bit strained uh, at the moment. Like, it's trying to keep positive, but this is not good news.
Hey, look. I get it. I know you. Out of most people here, actually, care about the work that you're doing. Um, just do what you gotta. Don't mention me by name, but like do what you gotta, because I'm I'm not happy about it. I shouldn't have to do this. Uh, Not really making a case for myself. Do you know how it goes?
Cawthorne takes a lock of hair and sort of just runs its fingers through it and is like, is starting a fire out of the equation.
Starting a fire where and how is the real question.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right, keep your secrets.
But be out of the building by 3:30.
So she pulls at like the collar of her polo. Should I? Do you want me to actually leave the building?
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I
all
really
right.
am sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
No, I totally understand. We are all subject to the violence of the machine.
Oh,
Anyway, looks like I have to go wreak violence on the machine. So,
yep. I will leave you to it. I'm just gonna keep like as she's talking, her hand like drifts down to the interior of the computer and like makes a couple of few idle screws or pokes at wires. And abruptly, there's just this fucking spark that comes out of the casing.
uh, Cawthorne definitely like starts just a bit from that. And it's like, uh, well, good luck with your and it'll look at the computer now, just slightly smoking, uh, and then look back at Sasha and be like, "Client." Um. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye. And it'll just swing open the door, swish out, and close it behind them.
There's not even a chance for Sasha to catch up, and that leaves you back in the main. I wouldn't call it a foyer, but like the main room slash floor plan for the office.
Yeah. Cawthorne's demeanor slackens again, with a very exasperated sigh. Uh, as it just sort of palms its face, pulls its facial features down, and is like, okay. And braces itself for the next conversation it has to have.
It's not like you don't have time. This is still very early afternoon, probably about noon at best.
Oh no, there's plenty of time. That's just the joy of it.
Where are you
So who
heading?
is Cawthorne about to say? I think Cawthorne's gonna head to talk to oh goodness, what's her face? I've forgotten her name. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You may not be familiar with her quite yet, but Cawthorne absolutely would be. One Rebecca Simmons, the database management, more or less, slash administrative personnel for the Lansing Social Services building. One
Oh,
of
if I was the boss, I could just be like Simmons. I've always wanted to do that.
a thought that echoes no doubt in Cawthorne's mind as it steps towards that dreaded office. There's just something about Miss Simmons that is unpleasant. It's not like she's an unpleasant person, don't get me wrong. Just, there's something off. Uh, as per usual, coming to the door and giving a quick knock, there's a few moments of silence before a voice from the inside simply says, "Enter."
Okay. And it will enter.
Seated at
And
her.
it'll.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Good. No, I was just gonna say Cawthorne closes the door behind it.
Oh, okay, cool. Seated at her desk is Rebecca Simmons, this late 30s, maybe early 40s brunette, very put together and well kept. Like, think picture perfect manager, blouses and skirts, completely perfect with no stains, no loose threads, nothing out of place, buttoned up. It's makeup with, like, office guideline exact to the letter. Very calm demeanor, very postured. And every word from her lips is saccharine poison. Mix Cawthorne, how can I help you today?
Hi there, Rebecca. I was having an issue where one of my clients wasn't showing up in the system anymore. I was wondering if you might know that? Know
Well,
anything about that?
it depends on the client. Would you happen to have their name, their case ID?
And Cawthorne will just say, well, her name is Mel, and reel off the case number. It's been working this for a bit, so the case number is just sort of committed to memory at this point.
Right, and with speed that kind of rivals your own, Simmons types this case file into, like this case number into the file database and performs a cursory search. The monitor turned away from you, but her eyes peeled. Well, she's not in the database. However, I am noticing several repeat violations. I believe this may have been one of the case files that we had pruned, so to speak.
And at that, Cawthorne isn't really speaking through clenched teeth yet. It's sort of that predecessor state. It's in the staying calm phase at the moment. Um, but it's keeping a hand like nestled on the corner of its pocket, uh, sort of just to have something to hold on to. Um, and it'll say pruned. Did anyone inform her about that? Because she came by my office today and didn't seem to know anything about it.
I'm sure she'll
Frankly, it didn't
see.
even seem like she was aware it had happened.
I'm sure that she will see it through the automated email that she will be receiving within the next 2 to 3 days. With a computer, this is a trivial matter to search.
Yes. Mel, like a lot of the clients I've seen, don't really have access, or at least regular access, to a computer. Is there any way we could possibly reinstate her while we get this sorted out? I would hate for a client to be left in the cold uh,
I
because they couldn't receive correspondence.
There are a number of ways that someone can receive correspondence. For example, the public library has a number of computers and email services that are for the various patrons. I myself made use of them when I was very young. If she has a mailing address, we can have the correspondence mailed to her, notifying her of the change in circumstances and the situation thereof. I'm afraid, however, that reinstation would be an entire process, and at the moment at least, we are not liable or required to do so under our current guidelines.
Hawthorne, in its head, thinks, wow, you were young once. Uh, but is the just epitome of patience right now. As it smiles at Rebecca and it's like, I see. Um, okay, that's unfortunate to hear, but I will let my client know. Uh, and sort of just nods at Rebecca and makes motion to leave.
Just a moment. If you have any
Cawthorne
additional...
internally sighs, just like, turns back around and still has the work face on. Is like, oh yes, is there something else?
Yes, actually, we do need a final bit of paperwork on your end to finalize this. If you have anything from your session today, as I understand you just mentioned that she came in, if you have notes from that, if you have updated contact information, residences, current status as of employment, I happen to notice that through the Michigan Unemployment Portal that she does not exist. Could you please forward that to me?
Yes, absolutely.
You may go.
And Cawthorne just smiles and leaves.
She only looked up once at you through this entire conversation. As the door closes, Cawthorne is kind of left to itself with this information.
It is fuming. Is there glass on the front of Rebecca's office, or is it just like a door?
Oh, it's glass.
Like,
She likes to have a wide view of the kingdom.
okay, cool. So Cawthorne is going to get out of the view of that office before letting itself get angry.
Oh, God.
And once it's clear, actually, specifically, it's going to walk back to IT.
To Sasha.
Yes, to Sasha. Gently pull open the door and close it behind it. And is Sasha still there?
She not only is still there, but you know how, like, computer... I don't know what you call it, like, the grease that you use for, like, internal components of computers? God, what do you call it? It's that weird oily stuff that, like, leaves a black smear when you fuck with everything.
Oh, God.
Do you not know about this?
No, I don't, actually.
Imagine, like, a car... Like, the kind of stains a car mechanic would have. Somehow, like, in the few moments that you've been away, Sasha has accumulated a bunch of this shit. And she just, like, looks
you know
up
what
at
it
you.
probably is? It's probably graphite.
Yes.
It's probably, like, graphite oil or something.
Sasha looks up, fucking covered in, like, various smears of graphite oil, and while her hair is already normally, like, fluffed up in a weird kind of, like, puff, here it's even more so, like, there's just static discharge. She still hasn't grounded herself, and this is, like, basic computer shit that you should be doing. Hi. How'd it go?
Well, seems like it's going about as well for both of us. Cawthorne's tone is slipping, and its fists are, like, very clearly clenched up. Like, it's angry.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. She's waiting for me to submit documentation of today's meeting with my client. And Cawthorne is saying this with, like, sort of a staccato pace.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of looks at Sasha for the last part and says, so I'm going to send that along as soon as possible. Of course, I'm so busy with clients, but I'll try my best. And then it just lets its expression droop and is like, just grimaces.
Hey, just... Like, I don't know what to say. Really take your time. I know that she isn't really needing these ASAP, but, I don't know. If you complete the file, maybe there's a chance that this can move along and something will open up for the client. I really don't know the situation personally.
Oh, well, see, that's actually part of why I came back here. I, of course, can't update a file without a file to update. So if you have any sort of backup of the database that you could roll back this entry to, that would be so helpful for us.
I'm going to give you two options here. I would like you to either roll manipulation and I think subterfuge is appropriate, or charisma and we'll say etiquette.
Where the hell is etiquette?
It's underneath the abilities section in the skills column.
Ah. Those both come out to the same number of dice. So
Oh, sure, but
I'm gonna do
what's your intent here? Are you trying to
uh
wrench her arm a little bit? Maybe get a bit of cooperation by convincing? Or are you trying to appeal to the emotional core?
definitely trying to appeal to emotion.
Alrighty
Like
then.
that is the angle Cawthorne is coming at this from, is a compassionate one.
Very fair enough. So I would say charisma and etiquette if you would like, and I will have this at difficulty 5. This is not a very difficult pass.
All right.
You may also spend a willpower if you so choose, which gives you an automatic single success to whatever you roll as well.
Well, I already rolled 2 successes.
2 successes, that's more than enough. And you don't got to spend willpower, so you are perfectly fine. Sasha,
Maybe
her expression kind of twists a little bit, not in anger or disgust, but someone who knows that what they're thinking and what they know and what they are probably about to do could cost them their entire job. Okay. Can you lock the door?
Cawthorne doesn't break like eye contact and just reaches a hand behind it and locks the door, and then smiles.
Okay. I know that you don't exactly have an ID that will get you up into like here and then she like gestures over her shoulder into the like more administrative consoles. But I do. And if I say, for example, just lent you my ID to get through the door locks and then came back and got it from you tomorrow as if I'd lost it, then nobody would know. And you could get right at those files.
I suppose are there any cameras on the way? Because it might be better if we were both seen, because then we could just come up with what we were doing. It hatches itself almost admitting to doing something improper.
I um gosh, let me check my phone. She like pulls out her phone and like pulls up a calendar app. It's kind of intermittently filled with just nonsense. Like every day seems to have something, and then there's like a 4-day period where there's nothing, only for like a staccato of fucking events to go in between. It doesn't seem like it's even got like any kind of regularity to it. It's just like that. I have a thing, but like after work, but if it was quick, I could at least like come with you and keep up appearances. I don't think I could stay long enough to go up into the building itself. Like I can come with you through the entrance and like hang around, but not any further than that. Sorry, like I really gotta go after.
No, that's okay. It's about 1 o'clock now. I mean, how long? I didn't think it would take that long. How long do you think this will take?
It's not about how long it'll take. It's about her.
Oh, okay.
She, what she's working on right now is that. If stuff gets changed or accessed, then that'll show up, and it'll be very obvious that there's another user. Trust me,
No,
I've
that's fair.
I've made small
I would not
little
want you to put.
adjustments.
I would not want you to put your job at risk for this.
I appreciate that you.
I, however, absolutely will.
That is just so you. Every time, it is always so you to do it like this.
Well, we're social services. It doesn't really make much sense if we're not doing any service.
That's. You know what? That is. You know what? You're right. You are very right. She sets aside a like the screwdriver from before, which is now black with the graphite like paste, and in addition, what seems to be a pair of pliers that she's using to wrench something out. There's not really anything but like a chip of silicone that broke off at its end. Uh, Give me. Actually, no, that's not the way to say it. Do you want to get coffee or something?
Uh, Once again, Cawthorne is completely taken off guard.
You
And
said we
it's
had to
just
look
like,
like we were doing things, right?
oh, yes, yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Then, give me like 2 seconds. I'll wash up and I'll meet you up front.
Okay, doctor, I'll see you on the outside.
Sure thing. And she bounces away with way too much pep in her step. Cawthorne, you're gay.
Bullshit.
No, impossible.
Absolutely impossible. Anyway, I gotta get on whatever go fast juice they've got Sasha on. Like, goddamn.
The exterior of the building in downtown Lansing is kind of a mess of things. It's not really kind of an eyesore, but it is definitely a federal building. There are wide windows that go up in vertical sheets from ground level to the above, an alcove on the bottom, kind of like separating the, I guess, like floor level representative offices, as opposed to yours, which handle the bulk of matter. Uh, from some of the like faces of the building, these curving like brickworks kind of blossom out in what are definitely the break rooms, which kind of look like the columns and towers of some like castle, though only really in implication, as is the like modern brutalist movement to do.
I
You
was about to
hear?
say, very, very clear brutalism in the city.
Yeah. This location is actually along the riverside. It's not like right in the heart of downtown, maybe a stone's throw from the Capitol building and all of its bustle, but it's not exactly far away from it. Like, it's not exactly close enough to be, like, right in the center of everything. Uh, on a good day, you're probably going to be hearing the rattle of trains on the rails as they pass through the city and around its edges, and on a day like today, you're hearing the sounds of ambulance wails and sirens, the telltale, like, thrum of police vehicles on the road and cars pulling off to the side. It looks like there's a hullabaloo over at the library.
Huh. Must be a active day or something.
Active day indeed. Eventually, though, Sasha does come down and join you, perfectly cleaned up. There seems to be graphite she missed at the, like, fucking back of her ear. But otherwise, just fine for appearances. There are a number of coffee locations in Lansing, and while she doesn't have a preference, you know of a few. There's the Blue Owl Company, which is admittedly a little bit further and closer to downtown, which would be kind of a walk. It would more or less take the entirety of your lunch break to get on and over. The slightly closer Strange Matter Coffee, which is adjacent to the library, and partially in downtown. It's like on the fringe edge. And there's supposed to be a third one, but it's in the complete opposite direction of downtown, and you'd have to get in the car and everything. All
Oh
three
yeah,
are decent options.
that sounds like a hassle. Uh, it'll probably opt for Strange Matter.
Fair enough.
That's a great cafe name.
It really is. I am a massive fan of their fucking coffee. They also do pastries and shit. It's very good.
Sorry, it's real?
It is? This is a real place!
Hell yeah.
It's like my favorite coffee place. It beats Bigby, that fucking chain coffee Starbucks imitator that you see so often here. In fact, fun fact, there is a sign, like not even a sign, I say this, there's a mural directly across from the social services building of the Bigby chain from its original heyday when it was like painted on the fucking brickwork. However, that sign doesn't say Bigby. It says Bigby's original name, and I can't say that because it's a slur.
Oh. Oh.
It's still there in 2024. This is not a bit, and it is in the game. I am letting you know.
Jesus Christmas.
In the walk over, Sasha does comment on the billboard saying, I can't believe they haven't taken that down yet. Are you kidding me?
That's
No.
kind of absurd.
It is certainly there. It's kind of weird too because the sign has seen innumerable wear and tear for decades. And, like, in passing, you can see the extent of the damage. There's no recovering this mural. However, the parts of the mural that have been weathered away and sloughed off by rainfall and heat and everything else, like, it hasn't touched the slur part yet. By some...
Damn it, it's always like this.
It's always like this. They changed their name at one point, and if you would like a temporary free point of edge, I would like you to guess the year that they changed the name. There's no consequences for this, but I want you to see.
$2010.
A little further off, 2017.
Jesus! Oh my god!
You're welcome. You learn something new every day.
I was like, all right, well, it's not when it should have been changed.
No, so. Not at all.
Oh.
Thankfully.
Good Lord.
In walking past that facade and going beyond what seems to be kind of like a multi-purpose shop front with a tattoo parlor on the base floor with like graffiti-style caterings and apartments above it, you come to the brickwork facade and kind of like it's minimalistically painted, but it's serviceable front of Strange Matter. The windows are always too tinted to really see what's going on inside. And stepping in, there is a young individual at the counter. You've seen him a couple of times.
Cawthorne's actually going to stop just before they go in.
Oh, sure thing.
And sort of put its hands on Sasha to rotate her to face it. Then just be like, hold on a sec. Licks a finger and then rubs the last piece of little graphite that's still on Sasha. It's like, all right, there was still some blood from your patient.
I don't know if I'd call it blood, but thank you.
What is that stuff anyway?
It's like thermal paste, kind of like lubricant. I don't really know what you want to call it. All I know is it keeps shit from catching on fire, and that's fine for me.
Yeah, that seems pretty useful. Doesn't stop it from catching on coffee, though.
Nope. Liquids do not like computers. Who would have thought?
I don't know. If I was a computer, I would simply enjoy liquids.
I know you mean well, but I think you would react as well to liquid as any other computer. Like, what I'm saying here is, like, computers don't like liquid, and when they get wet, they freak out. And then she walks in the building.
Cawthorne follows. And then, against any better judgment, continues the conversation by bringing up, well, don't they water cool computers? Like, well, yeah, I know mine has like an all-in-one cooler and it has liquid in it, but I've seen like other ones that are way more complex.
Yeah, but that's different. If you have like a liquid cooled thing, you're not like spraying it with water to cool it down. If a computer could do that, then like we would have that stuff just submerged all day. What it's using is like,
Wait, am I not supposed to give my computer a bath?
are you giving your computer a bath?
It was dirty.
How is
I
it
put it
still
in the
working?
shower.
Oh,
I turned it on the high pressure nozzle and just sort of, got into all the nooks and crannies.
is that
There was
the?
this weird gray stuff on my processor.
Oh no! Is that your home computer? That does it still work?
But of course it still works. It smells really nice now.
What?
I put this really nice soap inside it.
You are showing me that computer? Oh my! Oh, and like she's kind of like wringing the collar of her shirt, trying to like mentally map out how this thing could fucking survive a shower.
Cawthorne is barely holding it together.
Look, okay, you're going to at some point let me look at that computer so that I can clean it out.
Well, I'm free tomorrow.
Then tomorrow I will bring all of my kit. Wait, hold on. And she pulls out her phone, looks at the calendar, flips through the endless fucking random things on there. There's some that are just like fucking written in what seems to be like hexadecimal. Like this bitch has an organization for her organization. Yep, I'm
I
free tomorrow.
mean, hexadecimal is inherently better because it has 16 characters or 16 digits per place.
Yeah.
Me with the 5,000 digit polycule.
I should say that while you've been having this conversation and this back and forth has been going on, the guy at the counter, Gwyn, as the name tag implies, has been kind of half waiting for you both to approach, but also half keeping an eye outside and like looming towards the window to get a better view. It's such an awkward angle that he can't actually see what's going on over at the library. There's sirens, loud noises. It's a whole thing, and unfortunately, he's on shift.
Yeah, Cawthorne like looks back sort of performatively and it's like, so, what the hell is going on out there? Do you know anything about that? It looks crazy out there.
No, I've been trying to figure that out for a while now. Like, I should be calling, but I don't know. It looks not great. I know somebody over there. I'm a little worried about her. That's all.
Oh, yeah, well, hopefully everything's okay.
I don't. They whipped like a couple ambulances around. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot of flashing lights outside the library down there. So if they're okay, they're probably fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I got no doubts. What can I get you both?
Cawthorne will look to Sasha, like letting Sasha order first.
Oh, you want me to order for? Okay. And then she like rattles
Yeah.
off this. It's this like it's not even like a name for a drink. It is much like her organization system. The ingredients and like specifications of the drink she's trying to get. It's not to the point where it's like completely unmanageable levels of Starbucks bullshit. But it's definitely not like a normal order. Just sugar, there's butterscotch that gets put into the fucking cup and melted down with the rest of the espresso. It's oat milk that's been foamed with a little bit of sugar in there for like consistency. And this is fairly rote for Gwyn, at least, and he seems to keep up as the like instructions are given and he writes them down. Alright, and you?
Can I get a chamomile with oat milk?
Oat milk, gotcha. I also gotta ask, because the manager's like wanting me to push it just a little bit. We got this like do you want fucking butterscotch in your drink? Like, I don't know why he's on it. You can say no, I won't be offended.
Honestly, that sounds interesting in my usual tea. I'll take it.
Okay. And he like writes it down in slow words. Then takes that ticket specifically and like marks it with like a fucking orange highlighter in like a check mark, and then places it to the side with like two others that have the same check mark. I'll have those up for you in a
The
minute.
butterscotch shame pile.
It literally is. I'll have those ready for you in just a little bit if you want to take a seat.
Awesome. Thanks. Cawthorne does pay for this, by the way.
Good shit. Sasha.
Like, for both of their drinks.
Yeah. Sasha was like in the process of trying to like find her wallet in the middle of like this cluttered messenger bag that still has like extra tools in it. And she was unable to find it in time. Look, I'll pay you back with the computer thing, if that's okay.
Don't worry. Oh, well, I guess I can't refuse that, but I was going to say my treat.
I'll take it then. She takes a seat.
You can just do the computer thing because you like me.
Maybe I do. You know?
Cawthorne realizes that was maybe too forward and is now taken aback by the frank response.
Look, how long have we been working together? Years?
Yeah, it's been like, what, 3-4 years at this point?
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't asked sooner, is all.
Cawthorne looks like completely on the back foot. Caught in between denial and just absolute pain.
Look, no, I wasn't trying to make you self-conscious about it.
No, you're fine. I just words hard.
Look,
This table looks nice, and it sits down really fast.
It's got nice little ring marks on it from all the cups that have been here before.
They all have those. It's character.
And Gwen from the back counter is just like, sure is. Look,
Okay. Cawthorne doesn't actually do this, but I cannot get the image out of my head of Cawthorne for just 1 second being extremely rude and catty, and just Gwen being like, "AB conversation, Gwen. See your way out. Bye. Thanks."
Okay. He's chill. He wouldn't mind. He keeps to himself while he kind of picks up. We don't have to like rush into things, but I figure it's better said than unsaid. So, like, there you go.
Well, how about we make it dinner tomorrow at my place?
I could do dinner.
You can get a closer look at my computer, and I'll make you dinner.
I think I'd like that.
Cawthorne is cheering in its head for successfully navigating a social interaction.
Just so we're clear, like after work tomorrow, or like sort of after work tomorrow, or no, we don't work tomorrow, do we?
Whenever
the phone's out again. The calendar of despair is up. What is this?
Is it a holiday? Did I forget? Did I forget a holiday?
I thought it was the day off.
Oh, is it like our... Sorry, I always forget. I work a lot of those.
Right.
Not because I have to. Like, I'd much rather see you. I just do it because, I can get more clients through that way.
You really do give a damn about this. Like, she gestures in the direction that the social work building should be. Like I've worked with other people who just do not care. They clock in, they clock out, but you give a damn.
Yeah, I can't imagine not caring. Like, these people are coming to us for help. It would be kind of awful to, look them in the eye and say, yeah, when they get around to it.
Yeah, or worse.
Yeah, or worse. And it sort of breaks eye contact for a moment.
It's about this point that a few drinks are slid over the counter, the chamomile and the strange amalgam of a coffee that she has ordered, both featuring a sort of not solid massive toffee at the bottom, like the butterscotch toffee.
Yeah, like how much coffee is in this drink? Is it like 20% coffee, 80% add-ons, or
That's the thing. It is mostly coffee, but it's the add-ons that are like strong and potent. We're talking maybe like a 70-20, not 70-20, a 70-30 split between coffee and
what
like extras.
what is the aroma coming off this thing?
It's very, very sweet. Not overwhelmingly so. There's like notes of hazelnut and bits of cinnamon, like bit of spice kind of clinging to it. But then there's also like the heady kind of like I don't know what you would call it, like the kind of scent of the aforementioned butterscotch candy. It doesn't. It's not awful. It smells more like a baked thing than it does a drink.
It sounds like autumn look.
Yeah,
I
you
think
got it about
Cawthorne,
right.
I think Cawthorne would say that out loud, to be perfectly honest.
I've never heard it put that way. She stands on up and goes to grab the drinks from the counter with a quick thanks to Gwyn. Uh, both drinks, on closer inspection as they're brought over, have had a foam heart kind of put into the coffee service.
Uh, Cawthorne Cawthorne just makes a like aw and looks back at Gwen and does a little heart with its hands.
uh, he doesn't quite do the one with his hands. They just kind of, like the motion that you do with your fingers when you pinch them together to make that heart shape.
Yeah.
He does that one in response and goes back to cleaning like one of the espresso tins from the machine. It hisses with a weird grunt before he like gives it a quick like slap on the side and it quiets down.
That's precision engineering, baby.
It's amazing. And at least until the plan is in motion, you and Sasha are free to have a quiet little cafe date. Or what it amounts to a date at this point, before you have to head back to work.
Cawthorne is going to ask to like try a sip of Sasha's uh amalgam,
It is.
Sasha's elixir.
Elixir is probably the right way to put it. It is. It's not too much. It's not overwhelming. It has a kick, and there has to be like three, maybe like 3.5 espresso shots crammed into this, along with God knows what else. But it does like give you a kick in the pants.
We found it. We found Sasha's go fast juice.
It's the only thing that keeps her from collapsing into atoms.
Oh,
That being said, the plan specifically, in little bits of conversation when it's not mutual fawning, kind of amounts to a few complications. For starters, neither of you can really pull this off until everyone goes home. That means waiting a decent amount of time for employees to pack up, head out, janitors to finish their rounds and switch shifts, which there is a slight brief in between for the night shift, and most importantly, making sure that Rebecca isn't there. So this more or less amounts to Sasha's suggestion of coming in later in the evening. Her thing specifically is just a dedicated block of time that she's not going to be able to do stuff for, and it kind of limits her ability to come in and help you with this. But
Yeah.
Later in the evening, there really shouldn't be anybody in this building. For here, I'd like to maybe call a break so that you can use the restroom.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
And I would like it to be known I actually wasn't looking at the voice chat channel, the chat channel for the voice chat there. So I actually didn't see you both being like wipe it off for her.
Oh my god, I'm so glad. I'm so fucking feral.
Perfection.
It genuinely. I was gonna write out a joke of like, I can't tell if this is splitting between characters or splitting between the GM and the player, but.
Hey, who knows? It can be both. It can work both ways. I'm sorry.
Oh, if I was flirting with ink, I would just go for the fucking throat.
I know you would. It would destroy me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we can save that for after session.
Yep.
Yes. And then yeah. One last thing I was gonna say was just like when you created a monster. It's his suppliers that's keeping me such in check. Anyways, we're gonna meet again. So thank you.
All right. If everybody's muted, Hearth.
Yes.
Are you going to wait and continue work as per usual with your non-nixed clients, for lack of a better term, and wait for the opportunity to step out of the workplace, only to come back with Sasha later? Or is there anything else you would like to do before the plan is enacted?
Nope.
All right.
Cawthorne is going to go back to business as usual. It does not want to arouse any suspicion.
That is completely fair. Going out with a coworker for coffee is not an odd occurrence in the slightest. It's been kind of the case for multiple people in the office. It is just a normal thing for your break time hour. And as such, you arouse no suspicion from your manager, who is currently set on berating Bill for his choice in not exactly the fact that he is using break time to watch or have background noise with woodworking. Rather, his choice in woodworking at all. It seems that she's more of a fan of nuanced television shows of interest, such as The Big Bang Theory, if you've ever heard of that.
Hold on. I just.
Oh no, Hearth. She disappeared. She's back. How are you doing?
Wait, who's asking this?
Me.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Except, no.
Yeah.
I fucking. Kill.
That's about what I expected, and at least in the sanctity and safety of your office, you don't have to really deal with Rebecca for the rest of the evening. And eventually the end of the shift does come, Sasha parting ways with a conspiratorial wink in a beat-up, like Honda Accord before fucking peeling out of the lot. You, on the other hand, this is decidedly criminal, what you were about to do. It may not be literally, morally criminal to do this and sneak into the office, or let alone go into the fucking social services database to fish out canceled accounts. But this still is breaking the law. How familiar are you, or rather, how comfortable are you with doing so? Is this your first time?
I'm gonna say probably not. Because Cawthorne does have 2 dots in larceny, so
it had to come from somewhere.
2 dots in larceny and 3 dots in law.
Perfection.
Gonna walk right up to the line, baby.
And it's a seductive line to walk right up to and taunt. See, like, that's the main thing here. It's really a simple idea. If the file that's been shuffled away, like, nobody's going to notice if you just shuffle it right back. If you're quiet about it, even, might have been an administrative error, or like somebody higher up bounced it back to the right account, gave the permissions back, the credentials, everything. And all it takes is going into an empty office and making a few little changes.
Simple.
Now, downtown Lansing in the night scene is a little bit different than at daytime. While there are a number of bars and a few clubs on the fringes of like Lansing itself, downtown is by and large right next to the Capitol building, and moreover is oriented towards the corporate and federal crowd. There are a lot of workplaces here that tower in the skyline over like pizza joint places, just little day bars. It's not really party central, is the gist. And for you specifically, this means that a lot of the roads are empty, including the parking lot for the social services building, which is not exactly right next to the building, unfortunately. It is a little ways away in a paid lot. How do you get there?
Sorry, to be clear, get from where to where?
Oh, from the end of your shift, I presume you would go home to keep up appearances, but then come back later.
So, honestly, the best way to not arouse suspicion, speaking from experience, is to just never leave.
Fair enough. So where do you hang out then, if you don't leave?
Oh, it just sits at its cubicle. Like,
Really?
it puts down the little because each of the cubicles has like this screen that they pull up when they're open to help people, and then lower when they're closed. Usually everybody lowers them at the end of the day, or if they're on break. So Cawthorne just lowers that and hunkers down.
All right, and I'm assuming you probably like turn the lights off.
Cawthorne's actually just going to try to play this as like, oh, it's working over.
All right, all right. All right. I kind of was doing a coin toss of an idea, but I've just thought of something better.
Oh
So
boy.
you are not disturbed for this foray into what is essentially federal espionage. um, the rest of your coworkers file out one by one. The night janitor makes the brief mistake of opening and unlocking your office door, only to see that you are still seated and working, apologizing and backing out. And eventually, as the hours creep by and the sun sets, the lights dim, and the street lamps glow amber outside, you get a text message from Sasha on your phone. It says, parking and colon, parenthesis smile.
I love it. Yeah, it's gonna go ahead and like close up shop to go meet with Sasha.
Alrighty. So, stepping down, you are treated to the cold, damp autumn of Lansing's downtown air. There's a train racketing down the tracks some distance away, maybe across the river. Though at this point, given Lansing's vast and interconnected rails that kind of thread through one another, it could just as easily be coming from the power plant further south by REO Town. The noise carries. However, stepping across and eventually to one of the sidewalks and crossovers, you are met with Sasha at the side of her car. You can't tell if it has gained or somehow miraculously lost new scrapes in the time between seeing it not too long ago. Hi.
Hey.
Are we Are we good to go?
Yeah, as good as I'll ever be. How are
Okay.
you feeling?
Uh, do you want the honest answer, or do you want the, like, the collected answer?
I am asking if you feel up to this. I don't want to force you to do something you don't want to do.
I'm kind of having not cold feet. I really want to help you. I just, what if, like, if I get caught, that's not really going to be good, and if you get caught, that's going to be even worse, because, like, you know,
Well, if we get caught, I'll just say I made you do it or something.
just
Like if we get caught, I'm probably gonna get fired anyway.
with
But
how they're handling the cases, I wouldn't be surprised if I also got fired.
I don't know. You're useful is the thing.
Do you know how many
Like
other
they
IT
can
nerds there
replace me
are?
with any. Oh sure, but do any of them do it like you?
Uh, Better success
You seem
rates.
pretty competent.
I don't know, but I I don't
I've
really
never
know how to.
seen Frank elbow deep in a computer.
Frank can't fucking do shit.
Exactly.
He couldn't even install a
They
motherboard if I
can't
gave him the
afford to lose you.
instructions.
See, they can't afford to lose you. I mean, there's anybody could do my job.
I don't think that's the case.
Well, do my job and do my job are two different things.
Right, but you do both of them. You really need to give yourself a little bit more credit here. Like, I appreciate that you'd stick your neck out for me, but, like, please just let's try not to get caught.
Yeah, no. Ideally, neither of us gets caught and it doesn't become a problem.
Great. She pops up on the balls of her feet, gives a quick kiss, and says, "Mind leading away?"
Cawthorne is stun locked.
Lansing is dead quiet. That is your accompaniment for this moment.
Oh, Lansing might be dead quiet, but Cawthorne swears it can hear a bug fall off a branch right now.
Uh, Cawthorne?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Uh-huh.
Servers.
Yes, let's go.
Right. And it's this with walking across the street that I would like you to make a perception roll for me, if that is all right.
Oh,
That is
not
going
looking at
to,
things.
yeah. This can be hearing or visual. If you want to go for both, you're fine to do that. But if you want to specialize in one or the other, you can also ask for that.
Oh, I'm gonna go for hearing.
Okay. So then perception and wits, and I'm going to say that this is difficulty 4
Oh,
because of
okay.
your acute
I'm
sense.
yeah, I'm not gonna spend willpower on this because it's 5 dice.
I
If I fuck
will.
this up, I wasn't meant to fuck. I wasn't meant to get this roll.
Fair enough. I will extend the offer to spend willpower after the fact for a roll, but know that I'm not going to just, like, lock you out of shit.
Yeah, 4 successes.
4 successes! Oh my god. Okay. So, Cawthorne, whether because of the funny little crimes that you've picked up on and learned from the years up to this point, or maybe just your time with Rebecca and the rest of the office trying to keep some modicum of privacy to yourself, you're pretty acclimated to the sound of even like bare like shoe against carpet, like that slight little poff sound. You are sensitive to these, and the night of Lansing, quiet as it is, shouldn't have the sound of boot and gravel underfoot from one of the adjacent sidewalks coming away from the building itself. The individual in question that is walking away is a Lansing Parking Services officer. One that you unfortunately do recognize. One Officer Baldwin, and that is either Mr. Baldwin, Officer Baldwin, some variation thereof. He will accept no substitutes, no first name basis. And unfortunately, in addition to this, he is making a direct beeline for you, though not to surprise you, as you've already picked up on the sound of his footsteps. Evening.
Evening, Officer Baldwin.
A little bit late. Both of you?
Yeah. Worked overtime tonight.
Alright. You got your ID?
Yeah. And Cawthorne fished its ID out of his pocket.
Takes it out and inspects it under like a fucking flashlight. This guy, I have to emphasize, this guy's not like in full cop like garb or whatever. He is wearing parking services shit, but has the cadence and body language of an officer.
Oh yeah, I know his type.
You know,
Working services till that one day he gets the promotion to be a full-time cop.
I'm working security tonight, doing it from the 5 o'clock onward.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't help but notice your car didn't leave the lot. What kind of overtime you working on?
I was just working on a couple files for clients who have proven a bit difficult. You know how it is.
I don't.
Well, you could probably imagine.
You need 2 people for that? And he looks directly at Sasha, who is trying not to dissolve into atoms, as the coffee has more than, like, certainly worn off at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also works here. She's here to help me out with some technical difficulties I've been having.
She's fumbling, trying to get her ID out of the fucking, like, messenger bag. And, you're in uniform. She's not.
Yeah, she's here after hours. Like, technically speaking, she's already clocked out for the day. So, she's doing this sort of off the clock for me. It's a real big help.
Mm-hmm. No problem with the IDs. You're fine to go inside. Do got one thing. Ma'am,
Yep.
your car...
What can I do for you?
I couldn't help but notice. He gestures to Sasha's car, the beat-up Accord. I couldn't help but notice that your backlight is burnt out. Are you... No, wait. I thought I replaced that. I'm just telling you what I saw. Please don't raise your voice.
Yep, we'll get it replaced.
Alright. I will have to take down a plate number, so I will be out here. If you need anything, I suppose I'll leave a note.
No worries. Thank you very much, officer.
Uh-huh. He trudges away with his silly little boots.
Cawthorne immediately rolls its eyes.
There's a moment where your eyes are rolling, where you swear his pace slows, as if he heard that, if he felt it.
He couldn't have heard it.
He couldn't have. It's impossible. That being said, the front door is open to you. However, that does leave the complication mentioned before of security cameras. Are you still...
Like I said, we'll do our best to be scarce on the cameras, but, like, we're just here to do work. The big thing is going to my desk on the cameras, and then getting away from my desk off cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the way in, Cawthorne's looking at, like, the view angles of every camera, trying to get, like, a general idea of where their sight cones might be.
These are some of the standard sort of like surveillance cameras that you'll see in office spaces, the wide set ones. I know that there's actually some really weird ones that are like dome cameras that the college has started putting up, including these. I don't know how to describe them. Imagine like these cameras that are on wheels. There's like a set of 3 or 4 cameras, and they can rotate to like get every angle set up. Those ones are not here. This is an older building than the college. That being said, the sight cones, because they are fixed, are pretty reliable and pretty widespread, at least on the entryway and the first floors leading to the elevator. They are broad enough to cover public spaces. Looking casual in heading up to your usual office, scanning your IDs and such, is not too tall of an order. It's when you get up to the office itself that you're going to have to kind of play, I guess, tactical agent, as it were, to get over to the IT cabinets.
Yeah. Cawthorne also tries to make a mental note of where the restrooms are compared to this.
Specifically,
because it may be able to play it off as like, oh, it's just taking a trip to the restroom.
specifically for
Meanwhile,
like your floor of the office?
yes, like if it can get off of its floor without being sighted from the restroom versus its desk, that might be an option for selling the presence, as it were.
Yep, fair enough. Given that Sasha has kind of been upfront in saying that she doesn't want to get caught, in the elevator itself, she passes over her ID. But you know from your time in the office that the bathroom is closest, in all honesty, to her end of the floor itself. Passing off a quick visit back there, or at least doing so without being seen on camera, would be very easy. It is just getting from your office across the cubicle space to there that will be the issue.
Okay. Does Cawthorne notice any of the cameras doing like, the typical rotation thing to get a wider view? Or are they all stationary?
I'm going to flip a coin and decide. If I don't like the answer, then I will go with whatever feels right. Oh. They do not. They are fixed in place. Again, it is their wide ass fucking range. You've seen like bits of security footage in the past, no doubt. It's kind of like a fisheye lens situation where even though it's fixed in place, they can still pick up little details warping in the corners of the field.
All right. Do you think it would be fair to say there's some sort of like, I guess like plant feature, like a stone garden that might have plants in it?
On the 4th floor of this building?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say maybe
or
not.
on Cawthorne's route to this area. Like even if it's on the 1st floor.
On the 1st floor, definitely, I would say yes. It's hard to tell because some of these are real plants that are growing, and they sometimes have to like trim up. But the others that like are on the edges of that garden are plastic.
Yeah, the plants themselves aren't important. What's important is the handful of rocks Cawthorne stuffs into its pants.
Okay, gotcha. That's fair enough. Get some mulch in there too. No beetles, unfortunately, but you take what you can get.
Ooh.
Sasha kind of hangs out in the elevator for the time being, or at least waits on the 1st floor landing and the elevator proper. She doesn't really want to be too close to where she knows the action is going to be.
Yeah.
But she's fine to pass it off as waiting for a coworker to get off. This leaves you at the...
Yeah, go ahead.
This just leaves you at the landing of your office floor. The cubicles in their neat little rows before you. Sasha's corner of the space. You have the key to get inside. All it takes is going to your office, and trying to sneak across to there. Tell me your plans.
Yeah. My plan. Do these I was thinking these cubicles like don't have roofs, per se. That they're sort of like open air. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, they're open air, but they do have tall dividers.
Okay. Cawthorne is going to, from her desk, see if it can get a sight line on one of the cameras.
Just from
somewhere where like it can see the camera, but the camera can't quite see it.
Oh yeah, there's not going to be like any cameras that are like angled directly into Cawthorne's office or even like adjacently, but you do see like up in the corner, facing outwards towards the rest of the office, the the security camera. There's one up in the corner, one of those small dome ones, and another one in the adjacent space across closer to Rebecca's.
Okay. Cawthorne's going to take a rock out of its pocket and weigh it, just sort of, getting a feel for its weight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to try to chuck it at the camera as hard as it can.
Okay. Alright. Let me take a look at your sheet and I'll see what could be appropriate. Now, typically, we would use athletics. And unfortunately, I do think that athletics is going to be here. However, if you can justify larceny, I'll let you take strength and larceny. As this is, I'm taking larceny as committing crimes, breaking into things, knowing how to get away with things.
Would I argue for subterfuge?
Explain.
I mean, I'm trying to take out cameras subtly, while also, lobbing shit at them from out of sight. I think that qualifies as subterfuge.
I think I'll allow it this once, as this is an individual case. At another point, I might have stressed more on athletics, since this is like hucking a thing accurately. But here, the goal is literally just to break it, and it's not like we're doing this in like an MLB stadium or trying to like nail somebody in the forehead who's running at you.
Yeah.
This is a stationary.
This is just
target.
trying to hit center of mass.
Yep. So when you roll this time, you are going to be rolling with the tens count as 2.
Okay.
Setting clicked on.
And yeah. And the difficulty?
Let's say difficulty. I want to say difficulty 6.
Okay. Sounds fair to me. Is it fair to say my specialty of breaking applies here?
Yes, that is why I said turn on tens double. This is absolutely applicable to your specialty.
Alright. So 6 dice. I'm going to spend a willpower on this to bring it up to 9 dice.
Nope. So in World of Darkness for old editions, when you spend a willpower, you do not gain extra dice. Rather, you get a success. So that doesn't mean the roll is automatically...
Oh, that's right. It uses the exalted rules of,
yes.
you get an auto success for a willpower.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, then I'm spending a willpower.
Yeah, go ahead. Mark it off on your sheet.
All right. And 6 dice. 2 successes.
2 successes. That puts a
3.
nice lattice and crater of fucking plexiglass right in the view feed of the camera. It makes an audible crunch, and you swear there's a fizzle accompanied to it. But other than that, nothing seems to really happen. This corner of the office that would be facing at your back, if the camera were still active, is now dead.
Ugh. It proudly struts out with its pocket full of rocks and gets ready to take aim at the next camera.
Now, are you going to do so in a stealthy manner? The one that is across the hall and like directly adjacent to Rebecca's office, the one that would be next most problematic, can't see you if you're behind the cubicles, but if you were to walk out openly and just huck a rock, that's going to look real bad in the security feed.
Yeah, no. Cawthorne is trying to keep its head down as much as possible here. As it is, it's already thinking about how to change the site of impact so it doesn't look like it came from the same spot.
Right. Thankfully, the office is fairly dark. The grainy footage probably won't show very much more than a slightly open office door and formerly a little bit of blurred movement, though to where and from where is really hard to say. Could I ask you for dexterity and stealth as you like crouch and crawl between these cubicles, or perhaps under them if you're so bold, to avoid being detected by this other camera?
Yeah. What difficulty?
Alright, this one's a little bit further out, but I'm gonna say difficulty 6 again.
Okay. Then I have 5 dice going at this.
Sure thing.
I'm
Make sure
cocky
you,
and not spend it.
before you do that, turn off
I
10s.
already took back the regular 10s.
Okay,
Yep.
cool, yeah, you can, if you would like, you can set on reroll 10s. I'm using the wizard game optional thing where you can pop the 10 and have it explode into another die.
Okay. Alright. So 5 dice going at this.
Mhm.
2 successes.
2 successes. Alright. You squeeze between like the first set of cubicles and beneath the like underhang of another to get between like a certain row, and bit by bit as you hug the window facing wall to kind of keep out of the cone's line of sight, you quietly slowly make your way over. There will be another camera, unfortunately, that's closer to the bathrooms. It may have visibility on the IT cupboards, but this one will not see you approach, and definitely will not see the rock that you're about to throw.
Nice. So if it, how close do I get to it without it seeing?
Let's say that the cubicles don't go all the way up to Rebecca's office. There's probably a 10-foot space of nothing before that door, which would be
Okay.
the most gap that you have. You could probably whip it from one of the cubicles if you wanted, and still remain out of sight for the most part, or at least out of sight enough that you can't be caught on footage.
Yeah, that's probably the goal here. All right. Then yeah, Cawthorne is going to chuck this next one from a cubicle.
Fair enough. I will have this one also at difficulty 6 if you would like to roll with the same parameters as last time. Not to make you roll for a bunch of them, because I'm pretty sure that you will also get this one.
No, you're fine. 3 successes.
3 successes again, the same lattice, the same crater. There's more of a distinct crunch this time, though it's really the only noise in the office. Your pad of footsteps is completely silent, and that really only leaves one security camera that will actually like have a bead on you that is closer to the IT lockers. Now, this one, you don't have to break. As you've said before, you could pass it off as going to the bathroom and then slipping off in its blind spot to go inside, and it would save you the trouble of having to chuck another rock. However, you could break it anyway.
I don't think Cawthorne wants to break all the cameras on the way, and in fact might try to break one that like is out of the way, so that the like intended path isn't clear.
That is very, very fair and smart. Do you want to go for one that's
Because
maybe...
Yeah, it's going to go for one that's, somewhere that makes sense as a hopping point, but doesn't lead straight to where Cawthorne was going.
Right. There are some side hallways that will go to the other offices that are in the same capacity as yours. For example, Tom, as mentioned before, one of the other pencil pushers in here who handles cases. Uh, there is a camera adjacent to his office, and the hallway does loop back around past the break rooms and a few supply rooms, maybe one for custodial supply, and then exits out to the same open area with the IT area, overhead security camera, and the bathroom adjacent. So if you'd like to break
Yes,
this one, I will make you roll for it.
We will make Tom look suspicious.
Poor Tom. This mousy little man is about to have so many problems. The camera.
He had it fucking coming.
Oh, the camera breaks and you can hear his heart scream. It is as this final camera is broken and you start going and making your way towards the bathroom that you get another text message. This is from Sasha. I'm being questioned. Sad face.
Cawthorne's going to ask about what?
Why I'm not up here. Are you almost done? Question mark.
Yes. Yeah. Cawthorne's going to tell Sasha that, like, yeah, you're good to come up. Just like come up with something. The bathrooms up here were locked or something.
Okay. And then a fucking ASCII heart. These are very brief messages that are being sent, and even the question mark was its own separate message. She may be in the middle of like talking to that same officer from before. If he's doing night security, then that can only be one thing.
He's probably noticed the cameras dropping.
Maybe he did feel that. Maybe he did hear it and see it.
Fast.
That being said,
all right.
I have one last roll to ask of you.
Yes.
This is one last dexterity and stealth to avoid the final camera's sight cone as you unlock the IT office and slip into the servers.
All right. Difficulty 6 still?
Let's say difficulty 7. This is significantly closer than you've been before, and it's kind of a trickier spot because it needs to be able to see the office space, but also the entrance to the elevators as people come in and out.
Back in exalted brain, calculating the percent chance here.
You can use a willpower if you so wish.
Do I look like a fucking weenie to you?
Alright, go for it.
5 dice, difficulty 7?
Yep, 5 dice, difficulty 7.
That should be a success. 2 successes.
Very nice. You more or less have the fucking vision of these cameras laid out in your head. Maybe not literally, but from the few times you've seen it before, you know generally the range of vision that they have, and also your margin for error that you're allowed here. All it takes is a little bit of creeping, a little bit of hugging the wall to stay just outside the periphery and moving slow enough that you don't show up in said periphery as even just a pixel glitching in and out. And with a swipe of the RFID card Sasha lent you, you slip inside with a closed door quietly latching shut. It's the same room as before, still as messy. Maybe messier, in all honesty. That computer is rank. There's something wrong with it, and it doesn't look good. The components have warped in the time that she's tried to fix it. Whatever coffee spill happened here has just fucking ruined it entirely.
Cawthorne looks at this thing and just quietly mouths like, "The fuck? What happened to this thing?"
There's a few photos taped to the inside of the casing. They seem to be like photos of somebody's kids, maybe a few from like when they went to a theme park once or took a trip. They've been singed and like blackened and stained by the coffee. It honestly just makes the casing more sad by comparison, or just more like painfully dull.
What the hell happened here? I have more questions than even remotely answers.
Questions for another time, unfortunately, as you still need to get to the server. The lone door before you is one of those heavy mechanical doors, the kind that are meant to keep people out. Specifically you. Sasha is a different story, and with her borrowed identity, it doesn't take much more than holding the card up for the latch to undo itself. Will you step
Alright.
into the dark?
Cawthorne slips in. Yeah.
You slip in as before. This time, rather than quiet, you're met with the innumerable hum of tons of server racks. These are not really, like, just cascading halls on halls and halls of servers. This is mostly just for local storage and networking with the other branches in Michigan's federal fucking processes for this shit. There are a few computers, namely one that seems to be something of an intermittent workstation that Sasha uses, and in conversations prior in planning and orchestrating this would be the computer that you're going to access, one that you have a password for via sticky note that was like taped onto the ID.
Did she do that for me? She's got it. Never mind. And starts punching in the password after inserting the ID badge.
The computer boots to life and comes to the stock standard social services like background page. It's not even like really decorated. It might more be the case that Sasha isn't allowed to decorate it, given her other proclivities.
Planet.
Now, you are familiar with the system that is used to kind of peruse case files. And you're able to access not just the database and its directories that are normally given permissions for your account and your position in this job. Rather, you, through Sasha's computer, are able to access the full breadth of permissions that are only gifted to so few administrative personnel. Now, you're looking for Mel's, correct?
Yes.
In the normal, I guess, brackets and directories, the name doesn't come up. It's not that it's gone, obviously, as Rebecca herself was able to more or less pull up the file. Rather, there's a hidden directory which has a string of characters that are really nonsensical that have been sequestered off to the side. And the preview for it, rather, the name and the associated number of files within that directory is listed at 47.
He's 47 people. Cawthorne is getting an idea.
What's your idea?
Well, Cawthorne is just going to restore all of them.
You may want to open it first.
Like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll peek the entries just to make sure they're not corrupted or anything.
Oh no, far, far, far from it. You open the directory. There's a list of names. Melanie Baker showing up near the top in alphabetical order. And as you go through Melanie's, as you go through the other files in here, the other personnel and cases, something kind of makes itself apparent, and an insidious comparison, maybe like the inkling of an idea, kind of starts worming its way into the back of your skull. I'm gonna take a quick drink. Ooh, okay. So, Cawthorne, you are familiar with the system as it exists. You're familiar not just in a direct sense, but you are familiar in an administrative capacity. You're familiar in an occupational sense.
Yes.
When you go through these cases, a pattern kind of emerges. None of the repeat violations that Rebecca had mentioned prior are nearly as bad or as deserving of expulsion from the programs and social services that she actually brought up. So, no, that's not quite right to say. It's not that she's acting out of, malice towards these people. Far from it. This is designed disposability. It's a digital meat grinder.
That fucking bitch.
Worse. Something in your chest cracks. It's a segmented rattle and scrape as your knuckles run white against the mouse, the desk's edge. These are clients and case files from across all departments, dating up to a month prior. Some of them prior yours. Yours. The word "were" doesn't really pop into your skull in the moment. It's like a possessive kind of pair of claws that have snaked their way in a darting grasp for the idea itself, dug deep as rage and disgust start to billow from you in a lattice of waved silver. This, putting it simply, is Rebecca's doing, but it's not just yet. She's not overstepping her roles or her duties in the slightest. This is how the system is meant to operate. In normal circumstances, you're never meant to see this, be this close to what is effectively just a gallows. People's files, people's bare-threaded hopes and dreams, desperate wishes, final chances, all of these lined up to die. And the thought of that, the realization, fucking kills you. It's not just Mel, and it's not just 47 people. These are actively updated. There are files now gone. There are recently deleted cases. This has been going on for a while.
Hawthorne is struggling to maintain composure. It knows it is here for one person. It absolutely is well, I'm restoring all of these. I'm not leaving these others out in the cold and just fixing Mel's file. I'm doing it for all of these. But at the same time, it's how fucking many has that witch, tossed into the meat grinder? How many have they just forsaken for no other reason than because they could? It is absolutely fucking fuming. And it is only through sheer strength of will that it does not crush the mouse in its hand.
The mouse doesn't break. Something else does, as your eyes flit to the side and notice that there is indeed a log file containing exactly how many people have been crushed and tossed aside. You take one peek, and your stomach sours. Your skin cracks and shatters in porcelain fragments. They dissipate into nothing. as the office begins to roil and twist, your eyes opening in blazing violet to the horde of name-emblazoned tomes before you. The collection of a lifetime's endeavors and struggles, individual hopes and desperate dreams sealed behind an intricate weave of brass and oppressive silver, thrumming with the raw stuff of intent fixated on the damnation of those people and their damnation alone. There's something in your chest. That thought, that inclination and possessive grip before yours, that thought, the word were not even existing, won't really leave you alone. You could have it all back. And I would like to know how you take it back for good.
Holy fuck. Sorry, I need like a second.
Take your time, take your time.
That was a very good description. Holy fuck.
Thank you.
I think the first thing that Cawthorne does, maybe with like the last shred of patience it has, is restoring every like case that exists. It after that does an export of the entire database, and once that's done, it fucking lets go.
Mix Cawthorne, I don't think you understand your situation here. There is no computer. You are looking at the edifice of a creation that exists solely to create misery, to destroy and grind people up into giblets of meat, crushed hopes, broken dreams, and nothing. Your hands are not there. Your claws do reach out to that machine and pluck at the weave of this shimmering light that bands around it. And what you said before, take back and restore all of those cases, you make it so. You take the names themselves, each individual hope and dream packed into the countless updates and biographies and descriptions given by caseworkers, and you make it undone. You don't need to export anything. You've literally given these people their lives back.
I don't think Cawthorne fully understands what it's done.
Oh, that's the best part. My dear Cawthorne, in the same moment that you were tearing and pulling things out, there is a surge of something in the back of your skull. Not quite full memories, half remembrances, glistening voids and interstellar vistas, twisting, writhing fractal forms, chaos of creation, everything undone, redone, made and unmade in the same instant. You know full well nothing but one thing, and it is that you exist to make these things happen at a price. You blink. The monitor's there. That directory doesn't exist.
Does Cawthorne still have the memory of what just happened?
Absolutely. And in fact, if you squint, if you focus, you can feel that room. You can still see that device, although now different. Something ripped out of it that can't be put back. Something permanent. The office itself also bears this strange kind of quality to it. And it's faint. But that fragment of a half memory doesn't really go away. You don't remember really much else. There's vague imagery that still teems in your skull, but by and large it is dreamlike. Draconic wings spread on golden skies. The glow of a sword from its scabbard. Distant worlds, untouched, freshly made, dying, living. It is vague and abstract, but it is a persistent feeling plucking at your heartstrings.
Is the artifice of this place still of the same nature? Is it still that machine made to grind people up?
The rest of the building is not. This is an individual creation. It's hard to put into words. You're aware of the office itself as its own physical space, the one you're familiar with, but at the same time, it isn't the one that you're familiar with. It is brass, it is pipes, and strange
This
bundles of
specific
cording.
room is built to this.
This specific room is not. This is like a cancerous machine that has been plugged in.
Yeah. Okay. Cawthorne literally destroys this room.
Would you like to tell me
This
how you do
room
it?
cannot be suffered to exist. Like, Cawthorne just in a full rage rakes claws that she can't or cannot see through metal, flaying it to pieces. Brass just shredding like butter underneath a knife, beneath its grip.
And you do
It is
so...
ripping server racks out and just smashing.
It's cutting through butter. It is quite literally as if there is no physicality or form. The world bends to allow this in this moment. This is your desire made manifest. And you fucking love it. Eventually, you do come to at the ding of an elevator. Somehow you've wandered inside. There's this strange lethargy that has encompassed you. You know for a fact and remember the office in that single room in tatters, that machine destroyed utterly and fully. You remember the scales of your form, the ones that you can still see if you look with the right eyes. However, you are beyond fatigued. You are exhausted from the effort of doing this. There's a part of you that feels that in granting your own desire in that moment, your own wish, you were self-consuming in a way.
Hawthorne looks for Sasha. Is Sasha like it sort of just blearily pulls its head up to look for Sasha and make sure she's in the elevator with it.
Oh no, the elevator dings a second time, you coming to a stop within it, and opens to the first floor where the security guard is walking away with his typical glower and too serious attitude, and Sasha breathing a dead silent breath of relief before surprise takes her expression. Hey, how'd it go? You alright? Get done what you needed?
Cawthorne just growls out a single word. And it's just, yes.
You see reflected in her eyes your appearance. The scales, the fangs, the additional arms, even. The wings. And she can't see it. And that's the game.